Hi, I'm Sam from Tarot for Writing, and welcome back to another tarot card deep dive. Today, we're going to take a look at the Ace of Wands. And this is part of a series I'm doing inspired by Esther from Mindful Tarot and her Drop 'em 78 challenge. And the idea is to take a closer look and a deep dive and a study of every single card of the tarot, moving through the minor arcana suits and then finishing with the majors. And today marks the first turning point. We're moving on from the earthy energy of the pentacle suits to the more fiery suit of the wands, and of course starting with the ace, the first card in the suit. And like all the aces, this card indicates beginnings of an idea, of a journey, the start of something. And the suit of wands is a fiery suit, the element of fire, and it is all about creativity and innovation. So think of it as the spark of an idea or something lighting a fire inside of you when you think about it, that kind of energy. And like I said, the ace indicates the start of a new project or a new venture. But unlike the Ace of Pentacles that we looked at the beginning of this series, the focus here is on creating and not so much on commercial success of this idea or venture. And for me, the message of this card is to tap into the excitement and the fire for this new idea. And of course, as an artist, as an author, this speaks to me of the excitement and energy and all the fun stuff of starting a new story, starting a new book, starting a new writing project. Next, we're going to focus in on a detail, and a detail that really caught my attention with this card this morning is the castle up on the hill. Do you see that? The white castle shining off in the distance. It looks pretty small in the card, doesn't it? And I guess that's to indicate that it's pretty far away. And to me, that means that, it might be miles off away in the distance. But if you have seen a white building, something made of white stone out in the landscape, when the stone is new and polished like it looks in this card, it almost gleams in the light of sunshine. So I think of it as something that shines like a beacon off in the distance. And for me, the message to take away here is that it may still be early days in this project, and it may be a long time or a long way, lots of hard work away from it becoming a success or it completing. For me, if I'm thinking of a new book, it may take quite a while to write all those chapters, to edit them, to do all the formatting and everything else that's involved in before the book can be published. So all of that may seem like a long way away, but if I keep my eye on the prize, if I keep my eye on this shining beacon off in the distance, sooner or later I'm gonna get there. So that's the detail I'm taking away from it. Now let's chat a little bit about how I can use this in fiction writing. So the things I want to draw to your attention that I'm going to talk about are the hand and the cloud, the falling leaves, and the stream in the bottom of the card. So let's talk about the Ace of Wands and how I might use that in my fiction writing. So first and foremost, in character development, this card makes me think of a character who is an artist. Could be anything. Could be a painter, could be a poet, could be a author like myself, somebody with that sort of interest in some sort of art. It also makes me think of somebody that is impulsive and ready to run with an idea, to drop everything else. This whole idea of of beginning, of start, the ace energy. Somebody that forgets everything else around them, and maybe they can be seen as a little bit of an eccentric. Maybe they are a little bit scatterbrained as a result of their art consuming them. You know, this new idea being something that occupies their entire mind. You know, if you have something you've been very excited about and very involved in, I'm sure you can understand how it may make you forget about everyday responsibilities and may make you seem a little scatterbrained. I know I get that way when I'm really into a new story, when it just hits me and all I want to do is sit there and write from first light to evening when it's time for my head to hit the pillow. So that's kind of what it makes me think of as in a character. And then in a chapter, if I'm working on either developing a story or if I'm pulling cards just to layer a little bit more interest in a chapter, if I want to see where the story is going. You know, in those kind of instances, the Ace of Wands could prompt me to have my characters look at a problem or a situation in a new light, to try a different approach, you know, something new. How could they get at this from a different angle? And that usually sparks some ideas of what direction the story could take me in, or it just adds a little something extra to that particular scene, you know, throw in an unexpected twist. And then the cloud that we see in the card and the falling leaves kind of make me think of a fall day. You know, it could be a sudden windstorm that comes up out of nowhere and has my characters looking for shelter somewhere if they're out and about. Or if they are at home, you know, it just could spark the idea for having a cozy day inside with a nice cup of tea or a cup of cocoa, curled up, kind of staying out of the elements, that kind of thing. And then we have that stream in the foreground that I told you about, and that could inspire me to have my characters go with the flow. You know, maybe it is somebody that is usually the kind of person that plans ahead a lot, that likes to have an agenda, has to have meetings set, those kind of things. And maybe in this part of the story, they need to learn that it's okay to go with the flow sometimes. And then last but not least, having the hand in here that holds the wand could spark an idea to introduce somebody who is an outside influence. You know, here it really depends on what the story is about and where I'm at in the story, but it could be somebody who comes in and turns everything upside down, or it could be somebody that walks in and takes control of the situation away from my character, that kind of idea. Or it could be somebody that lends a helping hand, you know, that helps them out of a tricky situation or points out the obvious solution that they weren't able to see. So this outside influence inspired by the hand here in the tarot card can be a positive influence or it can be a negative influence depending on where I'm at with my story and whether I'm at a point where, you know, it's time to start to solve matters and help them find their happily ever after, or, you know, we could be at a time or a point in the story where we need a little bit more tension, we need a little bit more conflict, and the Ace of Wands could spark that idea. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive and closer look at the Ace of Wands. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the rest of the videos in this playlist. I already went through the entire suit of Pentacles, and I'm excited to make my way through the suit of Wands over the next few weeks. I hope you follow along and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back tomorrow with the Two of Wands. I'll see you then.